No, you're lying. This is a dream. This is a fucking dream right now, bro. Please wake me up. Please, I'm begging you.
Perdre un enfant est une douleur insupportable que personne ne souhaiterait même à son pire ennemi. Mais pour Bryan, ce cauchemar est devenu réalité lorsqu'une femme ivre a foncé à toute vitesse dans le parking du Swan Boat Club et s'est écrasée dans la salle où sa femme, ses deux tout-petits et son fils de 12 ans célébraient l'anniversaire d'un enfant de 2 ans. La conductrice du véhicule a été identifiée comme étant Marcella, âgée de 66 ans.
Losing a child is an unbearable pain no one should face. For Bryan, that nightmare became real when a drunk driver sped to the Swan Boat Club parking lot. Crashing into the room where his wife, 2 toddlers, and 12-year-old son were celebrating a birthday. The driver was identified as 66-year-old Marcella.
La conductrice du véhicule a été identifiée comme étant Marcella, âgée de 66 ans. Lorsque son véhicule s'est encastré dans le bâtiment, l'impact a projeté tout le monde à travers la pièce et les jeunes enfants, Zayn et Alanah, ont tragiquement été écrasés. Au début, tout le monde a cru qu'une bombe avait explosé, mais lorsque la poussière est retombée, ils ont réalisé qu'une voiture avait traversé le mur de la salle de réception.
When the vehicle plowed into the building, the violent impact hurled everyone across the room, and little Zayn and Alanah were tragically crushed. For a moment, people believed a bomb had gone off. But as the dust cleared, the horrifying truth emerged. A car had torn straight through the wall of the reception hall.
Ceux qui n'étaient pas blessés ont commencé à chercher les tout-petits et à secourir les autres personnes coincées dans les débris, lorsqu'ils ont découvert que Zayn était coincé sous le véhicule. Dans un effort pour le libérer, la voiture a dû être soulevée et il a été sorti, mais il était dans un état critique. Au milieu du chaos, la femme de Bryan, Maria.
Those who escaped serious injury immediately began searching for missing toddlers and helping others trapped beneath the debris. Their desperate search led to a chilling discovery. Little Zayn was pinned under the vehicle. In a frantic effort to save him, bystanders worked together to lift the car and pull him out, but his condition was critical. Amid the chaos, Bryan's wife Maria and their 12-year-old son Jaden were nowhere to be found. The most devastating part was that Bryan, who had not yet arrived at the scene, had no idea the nightmare unfolding around his family. Meanwhile, Marcella was being questioned by an officer at the crash site. She claimed she had only consumed a glass of non-alcoholic beer and insisted she had blacked out behind the wheel, causing the accident. But the officer, not convinced, immediately conducted a breath alcohol test. What the results would later reveal shocked everyone, exposing that Marcella had not only lied about how much she drank, but also about losing consciousness. As the search continued, bystanders reached the far side of the building where the car had stopped. There, they found Maria and Jaden in critical condition, their bodies thrown violently by the impact.
Maria oscillait entre conscience et inconscience et a été immédiatement transportée à l'hôpital, où elle est tombée dans le coma. Jaden a été héliporté vers un autre hôpital, car il saignait abondamment, et chaque seconde...
Maria drifted in and out of consciousness before being rushed to the hospital, where she slipped into a coma. Her son, Jaden, was transported to another facility as doctors fought to control the heavy bleeding that threatened his life. Every second mattered, and his survival was far from certain. Meanwhile, Marcella faced questioning from investigators. What she told the inspector directly contradicted the claims she had made earlier to the officer at the scene. She now denied nearly everything, attempting to cover her tracks. But the truth was closing in. In her husband's report, it was revealed that Marcella had long struggled with alcoholism, an issue that caused serious strain in their marriage. For Christine, Maria's best friend since childhood and the host of the birthday party that day, the nightmare began the moment the car came crashing through the wall. She described the scene with horror etched in her voice. I was right by the door, so I ran inside. It sounded like a bomb exploded. I didn't understand what had just happened. My son and his cousins were right there by the entrance. There was debris everywhere. Then I saw one of the little girls. She had been thrown onto the bar counter and had fallen behind it. I grabbed her, carried her out, and got her to safety. Her relief was short-lived. As she turned, she saw Marcella aimlessly pacing near her car. I started yelling at her, Christine recalled. Then someone screamed that a child was under the car. I told her to open the trunk so we could get the jack. That's when I smelled it, the alcohol. That's when I realized she had driven straight into the building. Despite being in shock, Christine focused on helping Maria and her children, guiding first responders through the chaos. But the damage was already irreparable. Little Alanah had died instantly from the impact, while baby Zayn succumbed to his injuries in the ambulance. When Bryan finally arrived, he was desperate for answers, still unaware of the full scope of the disaster. The crushing truth came from an officer. 2 of his children were dead, and his wife and eldest son were clinging to life on ventilators. In that moment, his entire world collapsed.
Get back in here!
To get out of here. Pack a suitcase full of broken words. And drag me in a beer. I'll be ready when you call me over. I've been waiting for a while.
No, you're lying. This is a dream. This is a fucking dream right now, bro. Please wake me up. Please, I'm begging you, wake me up. No, right now. He's lying, bro. Please, he's lying. Bro, please. Please, he's lying. Please tell me he's lying. Please. No, way. They just was with me.
This is a dream, right? Wake me up. No. Right now, bro, please. He's lying. Please tell me he's lying. Please. They were just with me. Mr. Mike, I'm telling you right now, I was just with them. Stop lying. Losing almost your entire family in one day is grief beyond imagination. Yet Marcella treated the situation as if it didn't matter. Even during her interrogation, she showed no remorse and repeatedly told officers she'd only had one drink before the accident.
Free now.
What's a free?
It's alcohol free.
Do you drink hard liquor?
No.
Vodka?
No.
Les images de surveillance de la maison de Marcella montrent clairement qu'elle buvait quelques heures avant de partir. Un détail également souligné par le sergent au tribunal. En conséquence, en reculant de son allée pour rejoindre son mari, Marcella a percuté la voiture de son voisin et a ensuite filé à toute vitesse vers le club. Si Marcella avait vraiment perdu connaissance ou ne se souvenait pas de ce qui s'était passé, elle n'aurait pas pu passer de la marche arrière à la marche avant après avoir percuté la voiture de son voisin. Dans la vue de la rue, il est clair qu'elle a heurté le véhicule ici, puis a conduit tout droit sans rien toucher d'autre, et a consciemment manœuvré à ce moment-là, mais n'a probablement pas freiné, probablement à cause de son état d'ébriété.
So we're going to start fresh.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you a very blunt question.
Okay.
Are you an alcoholic?
I don't believe so.
Ce jour-là, les enfants étaient avec moi. C'était une journée normale. Je jouais avec eux, je les habillais pour aller à un anniversaire. Et puis, à peine 30 à 40 minutes après qu'ils soient partis avec leur mère, j'ai commencé à recevoir des appels, des gens que je n'avais pas vus depuis des années de la famille. Et j'ai senti dans mon ventre que quelque chose de grave s'était produit. Mon frère est finalement sorti de la voiture, et j'ai dit « Oh mon Dieu, qu'est-ce qui se passe ?» Encore et encore, j'ai répété « Oh mon Dieu, qu'est-ce qui se passe ?» Quelqu'un a réussi à me dire qu'il y avait eu un accident au club nautique.
Surveillance footage from Marcella's home clearly showed she had been drinking a few hours before leaving. This was later highlighted by the sergeant in court. As she backed out her driveway to join her husband, Marcella hit her neighbor's car and then sped off toward the club. If she had truly lost consciousness or didn't remember what happened, she wouldn't have been able to shift from reverse to drive after collision. The street view confirmed that she struck the neighbor's vehicle, then drove straight on without hitting anything else, consciously maneuvering but likely failing to brake due to her intoxicated state. That day, the children were with me. It was a normal day. I played with them, dressed them for a birthday party, and just 30 to 40 minutes after they left with their mother, I started getting calls from people I hadn't heard from in years. Deep down, I felt something terrible had happened. My brother finally got out of the car and I kept repeating, "Oh my God, what's going on?" Someone eventually told me there had been an accident at the yacht club. When I got there, I collapsed to the ground. I screamed because I knew they were gone. I begged people not to tell me anything, but before I could even process what was happening, they told me Jaden, my oldest, had been airlifted to University of Michigan. I didn't have time to cry or even think about what was happening to Alanah and Zayn. I rushed to be with Jaden. When I arrived, he was lying on the table, covered in blood, surrounded by doctors fighting to save him. His eyes met mine, and I told him to fight. Marcella, meanwhile, showed no remorse. After posting her $1.5 million bail and being placed under house arrest, she even gave a television interview to justify what she had done. She claimed she must have had a seizure, that her foot hit the accelerator, and she drove into the building without control. She pointed to her clean record, insisting she had no history of drinking, speeding, or even a parking ticket. A year later, while Jane was still recovering, Maria was able to walk again after months of therapy. Both had suffered punctured lungs, broken ribs, and endured countless surgeries. When Maria testified in court, she delivered a heartbreaking impact statement to Marcella. April 20th, 2024, changed my life forever. When I was told my children were gone, I felt like my heart stopped, like I was dying inside. The doctors had to sedate me repeatedly because every time I woke up, my body panicked. When I returned home, I saw their shoes by the door, their coats, their toys in the living room. Everything felt too real. I begged my family to remove their belongings because each reminder stole my breath. I couldn't walk, couldn't even use the bathroom on my own. My body was broken, my heart shattered. I had to plan my children's funerals, celebrate Jaden's birthday, mourn Zayn's the very next day, and face Mother's Day, all in the same week. Holidays became hollow. Halloween had no magic. Thanksgiving was just another day. Christmas was empty. On the anniversary of their death, I walked into Alanah's room for the first time in a year. It still smelled like her. Her dollhouse was untouched, as if she was still playing. It took Jaden nearly a year to walk without assistance. I would give anything to hug them one last time. Zayn asked about me before he died, and I never got to hold him again. Part of me is grateful I wasn't conscious when it happened, because I could never have endured seeing him like that. My daughter embedded in a wall. I live with guilt, even though I know there was nothing I could have done. But there is one person to blame. You, Marcella. You killed two of my children. You had already hit a car before the crash. You could have stopped. If the death penalty existed in Michigan, I would have asked for it. At the very least, I begged this court to give you life without parole. Marcella was found guilty on all counts: second-degree murder, drunk driving causing death, and drunk driving causing serious injury. She was sentenced to 25 to 50 years in prison. After the verdict, Marcella finally spoke, saying, "I never met these children, but I was involved in this accident, and I am sincerely sorry. No words will ever be enough. His children are gone." But apologies couldn't erase the damage. Marcella, a longtime member of the Swan Boat Club, left families devastated and a community scarred forever. This case became not just a fight for justice, but also a haunting reminder that drunk driving destroys lives, and will continue to do so unless society makes a conscious effort to stop it.